Ready?
Yep.
Whiskey, Wine, and Wellness, number 10, live from the UberFit studio with Ben Cross.
Hi.
And Adam, as you may know. So, no options today. So, as gifted to us by Dr. Allman, we are drinking Rowan's Creek Kentucky Bourbon Whiskey, distilled, aged, and bottled in Kentucky by Willett Distillery, Bardstown, Kentucky.
Best dentist in Indianapolis. Monot Family Dental. He's the best.
Go get him. Go get your grill right.
Let's fix all of my teeth.
Fix your teeth. 100 proof. So this should probably be a short podcast.
Hopefully.
So theme today, we're going to do like some fact and fiction, common fitness myths, whether or not they are true or false. I guess we shouldn't call them myths because they may be true. But we each got 3. We don't know. We haven't shared them, so they could be the same, which would be fun, or not.
Likely, I mean.
Likely the same, similar. But we'll pour this up, maybe. I don't know how to open this, but yeah, we'll do our 3 myths. Ben, do you want to go first? You can do your first one. What do you got?
Yeah, so my first myth, and this is more, it's hard to say if it's really a myth, but it's more of an observation of just...
So don't tell me whether you think it's a myth or not, because I want to see if we agree or disagree too.
Okay. Well, the observation is that most diets, be it fad or something that's been around a long time and that's actually well prescribed to, they have their benefits in their own ways of either manipulating metabolic strain or metabolic conditions, but for the most part, all diets are designed just to manipulate calories. And so that, and being somebody who's been successful with keto, who's been successful with intermittent fasting, I noticed the changes that happen in my body, but in the grand scheme of things, I feel like it is just another way for people to become cognizant of their calories and be aware that and then manipulate those calories in an easier fashion.
I feel like that's fact.
Yeah.
I feel like that's definitely fact.
Like,
cheers, by the way.
Cheers.
I think that's definitely fact. By manipulating, fuck, that's good. We'll bleep that later. Thanks, Zach. No, I feel like that's true. I feel like by omitting certain food groups or shrinking the time that you eat, it's only a means of manipulating calories through other means.
Yeah, it's similar to, fitness principles like frequency, time. The amount of time you can eat, the amount of meals you eat a day. If you withhold certain macronutrients, you're going to have to make up that calorie balance or not, either way.
Yeah.
And you will lose weight or gain weight accordingly.
Okay.
Yeah, that's one of my big ones. Nutrition is key, so.
Yeah, for sure. So I'll do mine, one of mine then too, because it's kind of one in the same breath. Mine was, I guess like a popular observation is low carb is best for fat loss.
Yeah.
And it might be true. It might be, but it's only again through means of reducing calories. It's not because reducing carbs is especially effective, because a lot of what I've seen research-wise shows that you become more like carbohydrate sparing when you are keto. So like you actually don't burn carbs as efficiently as anyways then too. So
yeah.
Were you to add carbs back in, you're actually going to be a little bit less efficient.
It all depends on how much you subscribe to the benefits of ketosis, really.
Yeah.
Like, if you really believe that ketosis is due to a lack of carbs in your system, you must burn fat. Is that the real case with ketosis?
Yes. So another thing I've heard explained to me about ketosis is that, so you look at, so the benefit of ketosis on paper is that it helps you to burn more fat. You become more efficient at burning fat. Mm-hmm. But they said you should look at it more as like a doorway into the cell that fat can go in and out of more efficiently. So you're actually more effective at storing fat too, because your that's your primary source of energy. Yeah. So you get more efficient because you might need it later too. So
your body's just essentially better at metabolizing it.
You haven't made yourself better at, yeah, exactly. So your body is definitely better at burning fat, but you're also, your body recognizes that fat is its main source of energy, so it'll actually be like, well, we might need some of this fat for later, so we might store it.
Interesting.
But if you do that in a way where you're also in a calorie deficit, you're not gonna store.
Yeah.
So that's the benefit to keto.
So,
Like if you sit down and you're eating like 2 pounds of nuts every night and you're on keto and you're in a caloric surplus, you're still fucked.
Yeah,
but, you know,
you're not going to lose weight.
Right.
It's not going to happen. You may get better at metabolizing fat, but it's not going to be the benefit.
Telling people you have to be in a calorie deficit is the least sexy thing to say because it's like duh, but it really is kind of the only thing that matters on weight loss.
The other benefit of going into low carb and the special diets, macros,
Or the special ones.
Those special ones. I love those special diets. It helps people be cognizant. It helps people be aware of what they're putting in their body.
Like, makes them make a choice on what to eat.
If you have to look at a label and say, oh, this is 20 carbs, 11 grams of fiber, 5 grams of sugar, alcohol, you're aware, you're calculating, you're becoming aware of what you're putting in your body.
Yeah.
So it's like 4 carbs. It's awesome, it's great. Yeah. But that's not something you would have been aware of.
Yeah. Counting anything is valuable.
Exactly.
Whether it's calories.
Actually, I had this discussion with another client, like he was a hardcore calorie counter and he lost a ton of weight. And it's like
it works
100%. It is difficult. It is extremely difficult.
Yeah.
I don't tell most of my clients to go that way because it gets frustrating, it gets difficult, and they stop.
Yeah.
It's easier to take these other methods of macros, keto, stuff like that.
Intermittent fasting is easy because it's time-based.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing that I've been explaining, I've gotten better at explaining, I was really terrible at explaining it earlier on in training career, but is, so like when we're trainers, obviously, and a lot of what we do with people is strength training. That's like the meat and potatoes, because like standing next to them on a treadmill is like a waste of their money.
Yep.
And not really an especially fun use of my time either. But is if we just strength train and you're not in a calorie deficit, your weight won't move. Like your body composition will change. Mm-hmm. You'll have more muscle, less fat, but it's like you're never subtracting mass from the whole either way. So if your weight doesn't move, and I'll come back to that, but like if your weight doesn't move, it's diet related, or not enough cardio, which maybe we can own that a little bit too, but have to change the workout style. But that's also not a especially easy conversation to have because it looks like as a trainer you're like, well, it's your fault, not mine.
It's also our business model is designed to increase muscle mass.
Right.
That's our main job.
Right. Yeah.
Depending on client.
Yeah, of course. Almost everybody can benefit from a little bit more muscle.
Yeah.
Almost throughout or across the board, but that's not an especially fun conversation to have because they're like, I'm paying you to help me lose weight and you're laying the blame at my feet. And it's like, no, I'm not blaming because I need to be able to get through to you to change habits better. So that's really, at the end of the day, still is on me, but it's a habit that needs to change. It's not anybody's fault.
It is surprising how much personal training is more psychology than like workouts.
Yeah.
Workouts they are what they are. Like everybody can make anybody do a good workout. Like a workout, not a good workout, but I've seen some bad workouts in my time.
100%.
But like
please don't
shout out. The main benefit is teaching people how to manage these habits and manage what they're trying to do
consistently. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. And I feel like that's why like having the regular appointment on exists to keep. It's like a stopgap. Like, well, even if I see you once a week, you're never going more than 1 week without getting after it. Yeah. Like at least. Yeah. So you're not totally off. Mm-hmm. You know, the more I can see, the better. But, anyways, so those were kind of one and the same. What do you got? What's next?
Kind of in that line. That was actually
I knew this was gonna happen.
My third myth.
Third. What was your second?
This was my third. Like this, I had this planned, but
you could have just lied to me. I don't know what your order was. We'll come back to 2, I guess.
So 3 was.
Hold on, write these down at home.
Was essentially people. It is great when people work out with a personal trainer or go to the gym and spend their 30 minutes or an hour doing what they're doing, high intensity strength training. You don't necessarily need to do like 5 to 7 days a week of an intense half hour. And realistically, it would be better if you spread your fitness or your physical activity throughout the day. And this is something
fact. I would say fact.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess the myth would be...
Mainly because I just want to scream facts.
The myth would be you need to work out 5 to 7 days a week,
Yeah.
half an hour, high intensity, and then you're done for the next 23 and a half hours.
Yeah, I would say, in fact, exercise in terms of like if you had a breakdown of, I know you know this, but like if you had like a pie chart of the calories burned in a day, exercise, I work out, I would say, if not every day, 6 probably in some capacity, just because I enjoy it. But exercise is, I mean, I would say 25% or less of the calories burned throughout the day. By the time I wake up in the morning, because I have Whoop now, Whoop, shout out, appreciate it. It tells you, like, I'll wake up and it'll be like, I don't know, 5, 6 a.m., whatever it is, by the time I get up. It'll be like, yeah, you already burned 900 calories today. And I mean, literally been sleeping. So like, that matters. But, and if you went and jogged on a treadmill for a full hour, I mean, 600 calories maybe?
Yeah.
Like,
Reasonable.
And that matters, that helps. But, I mean, as far as like a portion of the whole, you'd be way better off to like walk the dog 3 times.
That's what I'm about to bring up. One of my, I say this to everyone, but one of my physio professors always says that you should always walk your dog, even if you don't have a dog.
Yeah.
Like, it's the daily activity and the re-up of that that's going to make you at your healthiest, most stable baseline.
Yeah. Walking, it might be the best form of exercise.
Yeah.
Seriously, it might be because it's low impact, everyone can do it. You can do it indefinitely. If you wanted to walk for 6 straight hours, almost anyone can do that.
Yeah.
It would be boring and you would need some water and maybe a snack, but I mean, you can do it.
Yeah,
Everyone can do it.
I was thriving during quarantine because Mom and I were walking 2.5 hours a day. We'd stop down Midtown Carmel and
Shredded.
get it. Yeah, I was feeling great. Yeah, everything was good.
Yeah, I walked
outside of like
all the time.
The pandemic, but you know where.
Yeah, other than that public health crisis, everything was going great. Okay, yeah, no, I totally agree with that one. Like the movement that you have throughout the day is far superior to exercise.
Now, strength training is crucial, I think.
Especially if you're in a deficit.
Yeah.
Because you can offload muscle mass too, and then you're kind of climbing out of a hole.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it all has its benefits, but I feel like daily physical activity is underrated, I would say.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So my second one was my first one.
This order is all ruined now.
Was lifting heavy weights makes women bulky. And I meant to do research for this to see what the actual equation was, but I'll draw my best guess off of what I've been told before. Was like even the highest testosterone women, if you're natural, is like equal to like, I feel like it was a prepubescent boy. It's like 11 or 12-year-old boy, and just and that's a level of testosterone that you would have, and in order to add muscle, testosterone is imperative. Testosterone and growth hormone. There's just no way. Now, you may have lifted weights and put on weight, but for you to assume that this was all muscle mass is missing the boat, most likely. In most cases, unless you are like this crazy outlier, which everyone thinks they are. Like, I lift one weight and I put on like 10 pounds. Like, no, you didn't. Yeah. You may have put on 10 pounds.
It's not solid muscle.
No,
it's not.
No. Because
you're not the next Mr. Olympia.
Even like if you wanted to put on 10 pounds of muscle, it would take you
be an insane
6 months
easily.
You know, like it's not gonna happen.
No,
Natural, no, not gonna happen.
No,
and
a 30-year-old male, like that's decent. I actually have my testosterone numbers checked, and they're normal, like they're average. So it would still take me a very long time to put on a solid 10 pounds of muscle.
Right. So point being that women should, not only should they not be afraid to strength train, especially heavy, it's actually maybe even more important because you're going to build bone density, you're going to have a healthy level of testosterone, which is still important for women. And you're also, for what most people want, women, what most women want is like shape, and muscle makes your shape. Your bone structure doesn't make your shape. Body fat doesn't give you the shape that you want. Muscle will create your shape. So if you want like legs, if you want like a butt, that's muscle, and muscle creates that shape. So not only should you not be afraid to lift heavy, that should actually be one of your highest priorities. So that's my my main one.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of the fear of becoming bulky comes from a lot of these female bodybuilders that we've seen, that we can make presumptions that they're not specifically natural.
That's the nicest way to say it.
Yeah.
They're saucing to the gills.
Yeah, there is a lot of...
You can tell. If you have to ask yourself for a woman, is she natural? Probably not.
Yeah.
Most likely not.
Yeah. And nowadays it is easier to get your hands on these things, and the market is growing so vast, and people are finding, a lot of people at some point, if they go to a gym on a regular basis, they will have the inclination to compete. Like,
yeah,
at some point, I mean, Adam's done it. I have considered it. I didn't want to, but I considered it. Yeah, it's I saw the hell that he went through, so I was like, I'm all right.
Never do it again.
So, you see that these people are successful, and they're getting a lot of accolades and attention, and
it's like fake accolades though. Like, I never was proud of myself for that. Like, I was proud of myself in terms of just the discipline. Or the trophy I've actually broken 3 times.
Yeah. In a fit of rage.
Because of the testosterone level. The trophy never mattered. In fact, I was glad because, I don't know if this is, but like, at the time, I was like hoping I didn't get a really good trophy, because the girl I was dating at the time was also in the same competition, and if I would have outperformed, it would have been a fucking disaster.
Oh no.
Disaster.
Oh no.
It would have been so terrible. So the trophy never mattered. The only thing I was proud of was the discipline to do it, to get there. But the being on stage part is not for me. I'm an introvert though by nature. It was not fun.
I mean, were you proud of your body at that point? Like, the condition that you were in?
Yeah, so, I mean, for me it was, first of all, you have a window in your life that you could do something like that. Like, if you're, I get to be in your actual prime. I think I was maybe like 26, maybe something like that. But I mean, that's like your physical prime. For your body to be able to handle that and bounce back, there's a very small window. And I really just I thought about this when I was going into it. I was like, I would just like to be able to have like a picture of like, well, this is the best I could do.
Yeah.
Like, it's like the Super Bowl for me. Yeah, it's like, this is as best I could make my body present in terms of most muscle or whatever, or less fat.
Also, don't say anything about prime to Gary. That would be a shot at him.
But like, Gary, if he had the discipline that he had now and he was doing that at 25, he would have blown it out of the water, right? Like,
Gary Nance is one of our personal friends. He's a fantastic bodybuilder and is the master's class. So,
shout out Gary.
Yes, love Gary.
I miss your face actually. I was never really proud of the accolades. You get accolades within that community. But that was a community that I never really jived with anyways. Like, it's actually not a healthy community.
No.
It's not healthy at all.
That's something they say. Like, on stage, you were at your peak unhealthiest.
Yeah.
Like, you were
never felt
hyper
worse.
Low body fat. Like, you're surviving just for this day.
That week, peak week, or the week before, you've never felt worse. Yeah. On stage, I felt pretty good because you get all hopped up. Like, I was drinking wine, whatever. Like, I felt awesome on stage.
The adrenaline, I'm sure, is pretty high too. Just
yeah.
You're out there. You're exposed.
Like, so you go to not to make this. Let's talk about Adam competing.
Yeah.
But so after, I think his name is Tim. He was at Valley Westfield. His daughter was like competitions to Stone.
Yeah. I know you're going.
Good dude, really good dude. And he gave me feedback after because he recognized me from the gym, and he was just like, "You just look like you're not having fun up there." And I was just like,
I wasn't,
man. Like, I'm glad you picked up on that because I was not having fun.
This is not who I am.
Not at all. So I wouldn't do it again. Or if I did do it again, I would do it in a drastically different way. Because you feel your first time is like you're trying to figure it out, and you're not really prepared for how terrible it's going to feel. So like, if you know going in how bad it's going to suck, you're mentally prepared to deal with it. And you also just can't, I'm not a super social person anyways, but there is no social. I think throughout that 4 month prep.
It's better if you had no social life involving with prep, but like.
Right. Yeah. So with in that 4 months, I think I maybe had a glass of wine or 2. Not that booze is like an imperative part, but like to be able to go out and have a drink is valuable.
Friends.
Yeah.
So we missed you for those months. Yeah. You were also not fun at work. You were not a happy guy.
No, you're miserable. Like, it just consumes so much of your life. you either have to be really, really type A and be able to like compartmentalize things, or you don't have anything else but that. And it's not valuable enough to punt on the rest of life to me, anyways. But that was but anyways, women should lift weights.
Yes. Back to
the story.
Roll it back. Yeah.
Not in a bodybuilding way.
Women will not get bulky from heavy weightlifting,
Nope.
barring unnatural.
So in fact, go to the gym, if you're a woman, go to a gym and find where the women that look like what you want to look like spend the most time, and I guarantee you it won't be on the stair climber or the treadmill or anything like that. It'll likely be squat rack, deadlift, leg press, stuff like that. So good experiment if you would like to run that. What do you got?
Yes.
Your second, I guess.
My second point, my second myth,
third
my
chronologically.
Myth, yes.
Yeah.
So we've worked with hundreds of trainers in our lifetimes.
Oh yeah,
Like,
well, I mean 35 in Texas alone. So,
yeah. So in the 100.
Yeah. Easily.
And we've seen every type of trainer, and you can get a pretty good impression of a trainer they know what they're doing within 5 to 10 minutes, like realistically.
With the trained eye,
yeah. If you see it, there is something to be said for if a trainer is using a BOSU on
I knew that's where you're going.
on a rower with 3 resistance bands attached to your body.
I know who you're thinking of.
Yep. And doing excessive plyometrics in this movement, like, you don't need a trainer that makes you do that. And especially the ones that do the one-size-fits-all workout. Everybody is doing the row BOSU explosive jump push-up band exercise. You're gonna have a rough time, and it's probably going to be detrimental to your overall fitness.
If you didn't get injured, you're gonna.
Exactly. And that is the myth that I think a lot of people see these trainers doing this stuff. I'm like, oh man, I want to do that. That's like,
They think that's a level up.
That's got to be like the best trainer in here. And realistically, it's pretty dangerous, 1. And 2, your average person who's looking for a trainer is not conditioned to do anything relatively close to what I vaguely described, if you can imagine what it is.
No, not even close. I would say, we always talk about this too, like, in fact, the less sexy your workout is, probably the more effective it is. And actually, so I think about that too. So now when I program, I literally, and clients will probably realize this at this point, but like, you've seen me program before, like literally in the strength section of it, I write push, pull, hinge, squat, and then I fill in the exercise, because I just know these are things we need to do in these ranges of motion. So like, your push it might look fancy, it might be like alternating dumbbell press, but it's still just a push. And it's like, that's about as sexy as it's gonna get. It might be on a stability ball, because that's where we're at, in like a stability phase, whatever.
And there are athletes, there are people that will benefit from BOSU workouts.
Like if you're a world chase tag competitor,
exactly,
or American Ninja Warrior,
you can set up a whole parkour course, and that's what your client needs. Then you do that.
Hell yeah. Call me on
I would say 99% of clientele, 99+% of clientele will benefit from a trainer that will use push, pull, squat, hinge, twist of some sort, and lunge. Those are like the 6 primary movements. Now an Olympic lift is something totally different, and there's definitely benefit for that. Like
1% of the population,
exactly
at best.
But those are clean lists. But like, if you are doing something that I can't tell you exactly what muscles you're specifically trying to focus on, or you're basing it off the content of like, this is going to be working your core, and that's like your kind of your catch-all phrase, it might not be the best workout.
Right, yeah. Second guess any exercise that is just like, this is a core exercise, because core exercises are both important and very valid, but if it's just like, that just becomes a catch-all. Like, do you know what the number one and number 2 core activating exercises are? A back squat and a deadlift. Yeah. Because otherwise your spine will collapse.
Yeah, it's the most beneficial. I say that to my class too. Yeah. I was expecting like plank or something, like actually core based. I overthought your phrase.
It's well, that's the best point. Everyone does.
Yep.
So actually, I talked to Ryan about this. Shout out. Was because we did some core stuff. Actually, I have a funny story to tell you. about that too. Yeah, and he's like, he even brought that up to me. He's like, I know that these ones activate, but he's like, dude, maybe do a little bit more direct work. I was like, yeah, that's cool. But for sure, yeah, you don't need that. So what's your actual observation? Is that more complex and unique is better? And that's the fact or fiction? Yeah.
Well, the other thing is, I feel like a lot of trainers, one, either they get bored with doing the basics,
or insecure.
Or insecure, yeah. They're just not as confident in
Their
their
client's gonna think like, oh, this is
That's
all
the
you
big
got.
thing.
Like I gotta show off.
Yeah, you have to kick it up to the next level to be valuable. It is a way of artificially increasing your own value.
Yeah, but it comes from a place of insecurity, because I would rather explain it, and I do explain this to clients too. Like, there's no secret. Like, you can see up there what it's written down. It literally says box 1 box squat, 2 RDL, 3 row, 4 push up. It's literally squat, hinge, pull, push. So what it is, it's what we're doing. We'll change what it is, but like, just explain it to them. Like, we got to be able to push and pull in different ranges of motion with your upper and lower body, and stabilize your spine.
I would much rather have a trainer that is consistently hitting those movements, increasing weight within proper,
some type of progression.
Yeah, some type of progression with a deload every once in a while.
Yep.
Like, that is a way more valuable trainer than the guy that is doing all the crazy cool stuff at the gym.
Yep. And you'll typically see that from younger trainers, not younger in terms of age, but in terms of experience, is that there always has to be something different, because you can also handle that type of workout for yourself when you're that age, and there's an inevitability from a trainer to train other people how you train, which I do too, but that's because I feel like I do
gotten to the points that
well, I know what. Well, truth, I'm not that young anymore either, and my body hurts from basketball. So much pain, just like everybody's. Like, my knees hurt too, but I have shaved off the stuff that I don't think is valuable for myself too. So yeah, if I were to train drastically different from my clients, I feel like it'd almost be like fraudulent, because why am I not giving you what I think is the best option?
Yeah.
I'm giving you something different.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like that's a great move.
And we're young men, but like
men.
like like it applies to 99% of the general population. Like, training men and women are different, training age groups are different, you have to adjust those variables, but like, these movements are the core tenets, universal, really.
Yeah, 100%. So my last one was, and this was actually both chronologically and on my list last, was working out in the morning is best. And I said for fat loss, but just working out in the morning is best. And this one also could definitely be true, because for a couple of reasons. Not because of the reason that I think most people use it for. They think like working out fasted is better, which I don't believe that is the case. But there's never anything else really scheduled at that time of day. The best time of day to work out realistically is when you're gonna work out regularly. I do think there's an advantage to morning, because your food decisions for the rest of the day are better generally after you've worked out, and there's nothing else going on in the middle of the day. Like, if you plan to work out at 6, so many things can go wrong in that time, like 6 p.m. So many things can go wrong. Kids, work, whatever the case.
It's easy to cut it short.
That's the first thing to get cut. You're tired. You give yourself. You have all day to hit the button that says no workout. You have all day to hit that button, and like, all you have to do is decide. You could decide that at noon, 2, 4. But you never decide at noon, I'm not going to work out, and then at 2 be like, you know what, actually I am. Once you say no, it's fucking done. It's over. So realistically, I almost want to say that yes, it is, but the real answer is to work out whenever you will consistently work out, because the habit is better. Don't work out at Monday at 6 a.m., Tuesday at noon, Wednesday at 6 p.m. That's not a good play, in my opinion. Unless you just have that schedule, and that's the times that you can get every week.
That's why it's so hard for people in the medical community. Like, their schedules are so wonky. Like, if you're pulling a 24, you gotta just, even working with a person, like working at the trainer, like, I've had medical people, like, sometimes I see them at 5 p.m., sometimes I see them at 8 a.m. Like, it all depends on their schedule, and that can just wreak havoc on metabolically it'll wreak havoc on you just from your sleep schedule. Yeah. And two, like the lack of consistency and the lack of scheduling is just brutal. Like,
is there a profession that you've worked with more than nurse?
And medical,
like nurse. Like I feel like so. Not
with like scheduling.
No, just like nurses are like so frequently personal training clients.
Yeah.
I guess I don't have any nurses as clients right now, but like when I worked at LA and I would connect people with trainers, like nurses,
I had like a lot of nurses,
really high. And it's not that these aren't disciplined people. It's not anything. They're obviously already conscious of their health, but it's just these 312s.
The schedule.
It's like
scheduling's a nightmare, and it's easy if you have somebody keeping you accountable in that regard.
Yeah.
The other like aspect of it is just it's with a 12-hour shift. It is an extremely difficult way to manage your sleep. Like, it wreaks havoc on your sleep schedule.
Especially if you're overnight. If you're 7A to 7P, you'd be better. You'd be better off because you can keep real sleep cycles. Because even if you shift,
how that works though, unfortunately. Like
you can,
you can. Like some people can, but like I know one of my clients is a laborist, and she might have a 24 on a Wednesday, have to sleep in. Yeah. Oh, Dr. S. No.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But like she might have a 24, she might have a couple 12s through the week, and she needs to get some sleep in, or before I can see her, and it sucks. It sucks that she has to like deal with it, but it's a much better schedule for her schedule as opposed to before. So
yeah, that's real.
Yeah.
So I would say for mine, I would say that would probably be fiction, but there's definitely
validity
advantages.
Yeah, there's
not for what most people think it is.
No,
most people think like if you're the predominant thing, and this rolls in with the intermittent fasting thing, is if you work out fasted, there's no food for you to pull on. That's just nonsense because food takes so long to get out of your system. Like the food that you ate 12 hours ago is probably not out of your system yet.
Yeah.
I think transit time is like 11 hours or something.
It's Hooters wings that you're in trouble.
it's 30 seconds
max.
You will use Hooters bathroom before you leave. You appreciate that image, world.
60 is the record.
But
BB.
60 wings?
Yeah. I was in Texas.
That's insane.
It was sad. Those were sad wings.
How many wines?
60 boxes.
60 glasses of wine. 60 boxes, good lord. Yeah.
And I've always found success, but it's mostly because I can stay consistent, and I usually worked out in that midday gap of like 11 to 1.
That's because as a trainer, you work with people early in the morning, and then the middle of the day is empty.
Yeah, and so that was just when I could work out, and that's when I've seen the most success, because I can stay consistent with that. If I leave that 3-hour gap in my day every day, I will work out in that time.
I like doing, I do not like weightlifting in the morning. Some type of cardio exercise, like, or basketball or whatever, that I like in the morning. Weightlifting in the morning, I do not enjoy for whatever reason. I don't know, it takes a long time to get your muscles warmed up or something.
Yeah.
I can go run in the morning. Like,
I feel like at midday, if you've moved enough to where your body is ready to.
You got some food in your system. Weightlifting, empty stomach, I think is a bad move, personally.
I will never,
Some people are okay with it, so, I mean, Zach does it.
Yeah. That's a big thing though. Like people will come into a workout without eating anything within. I've had that happen a lot, especially with like new clientele.
Yeah.
Like, it's usually one of the first things I ask them, and even then, it's still like hit or miss. I've had a lot of people laying on the floor, feet up, just because. And we don't necessarily even go like I don't push them extremely hard because they're a new client. I don't know what their capabilities are, but like some people just cannot handle it without anything in their stomach.
So strength training is inherently glycolytic. It requires glucose to fuel strength training. And if you do not have any glucose in your system, your body has to find a way to create some. And if your blood sugar gets too low, you're going to be in a bad spot.
Yep.
You're going to be in a really bad spot. Cardio, like you can go run. It's going to be largely a
lipolytic or
lipolytic. Yeah, you're going to be oxidating fat to fuel it. So. You're gonna be okay probably unless you're doing sprints or something, but like basketball, I'll do like something like banana or whatever, and that's enough. I can get up and down.
Well, that's a glycolytic.
You never seen how explosive my athleticism is, bro.
It's a lot of bursts of speed, so therefore you need carbohydrates in your system.
I need something, but like weightlifting in the morning, like warming up your muscles is like, I don't know. I don't know if you've noticed this, like as you get like longer into your training curve too. Like I spend way more time on warm ups than I ever did before.
Mm-hmm.
Like I would like to. I almost feel bad doing it because it almost feels like what time waits for the client. But like I'm probably getting at least 10 minutes of just stuff. Yeah. Like rolling, some basic exercises, like some squats, push-ups, some band stuff. Like
I mean, I used to like my warm-up was my low set.
First set,
yeah. First set was your warm-up, and then like
135.
Second and third set, you're already ready to go.
Yeah.
Now it's like
no way.
I gotta crank out some hip circles, or grab a band and stretch out the chest and shoulders, or I'm gonna be I'm just gonna be in some trouble shortly thereafter.
100%.
Yeah.
Right on.
Nice.
That's what I got. That's what I got. Fun.
Enjoy those myths.
Episode 10.
Truths.
Fact or fiction. Signing out.
This video is brought to you by UberFit. Looking for a fitness program that works for your busy life? UberFit is the premier on-demand fitness solution for Carmel and northern Indianapolis. UberFit coaches bring the gym to you, offering a full health club experience and equipment package, including free weights, squat rack, conditioning equipment, and the guidance you need to perform at your best. Prefer a more traditional gym experience? Schedule a time at UberFit's private studio in downtown Carmel. Make fitness fit. Visit uberfitindy.com to schedule your day one today.